Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Millie Gabriel, reporting live from Channel 66. There has been many riots across from LA because of the ruthless beating of Rodney King. He was beaten down by 4 police officers while the other just stood and watched. Many protesters around the world screaming, no justice, no peace.
No peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice,
Hey,
no
hey,
peace.
what are you doing? I said get on the ground right now. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Hey, nigger, I said get on the ground now. Get on the ground. I said get on the ground. What are you doing? You're going to jail tonight. You're going to jail tonight. You're going.
The police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. That is cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on and thrown in jail. We can go toe to toe in the middle of a cell. Come with me cause I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager. Searching my car, looking for the product. Thinking every nigga in there selling narcotics. You rather see me in the pen than me and Lorenzo rolling in a benzo. Be the police out of shape, and when I finish, bring the yellow tape to take off the scene of the slaughter. Still getting swole up bread and water. I don't know if they fags or what. Such a nigga down and grabbing his nuts, and on the other hand, without a gun, they can't get none. But don't let it be a black and a white one, cause they'll slam you down to the street top. Black police showing out for the white cop. Ice Cube will swarm on any motherfucker in a blue uniform. Just cause I'm from the CPT, fuck police are afraid of me, huh? A young nigga on the warpath, and when I finish, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
Many people, as you can see me, are furious, even outraged why this even happened. Here we have one of the protesters over this horrific event. Shirley Jackson, how do you feel about the protests?
I just feel like it isn't right. Like, we aren't being treated how we deserve to be treated, and I just won't stand for it. We need justice, or we won't have any peace.
Reporting to you live from Channel 66, this is Millie Gabriel. Hello, we're here with another one of our protesters, Joyce. So Joyce, how do you feel about the situation of Rodney King?
I feel like he didn't deserve what came to him, even though he just ran a red light. It was uncalled for.
So what is your reason for protesting? What does that have to do with you?
Man, I seen him just the other day. Honestly, everyone deserves a shot at justice. Everyone needs to be given their justice. What happened to him was unforgettable and unforgivable.
So what is justice?
Justice is something that we as a community don't get based on the color of our skin. White folks, on the other hand, they get justice. They get let off with everything, even with the crimes.
And how long do you think these protests will persist?
Honestly, until we as a community get justice.
Hello everyone. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the LA riots that sprung all across the world due to the senseless beating of Rodney King. He led a police chase all throughout the streets of LA due to running a red light. Allegedly intoxicated, he refused to submit, and he was beaten down by 4 police officers. And those police officers were acquitted, and that was how the riots enlarged. So here we have Officer Wind, who was involved in the Rodney King beating. We also have Mr. Holiday, who was the cameraman of the beating. We also have the 2 protesters, Miss Joyce and Miss Jackson. So I wanted to start off with Mr. Holiday. Can you describe to me what was your reaction of recording the Rodney King building?
Well, when I first seen the incident, I knew something unusual was about to take place. So I took it in my hands to take my camera out and record this incident, because I knew if I didn't take that action, something crazier than what has happened was going to take place. So while I'm in my house, I grabbed my camera And then, with none of them being aware of it, I took, evidence that is now so that it can be used later on, because I knew what was going to take place, because them white guys looked angry.
I don't think necessarily we were angry. Mr. Rodney King was speeding, and he needed to be stopped. That's all it was.
Well, everyone's
Things-
speeds.
Yeah, do you stop everybody that
Things-
speeds though?
Things transpired. I was just one of the rookie cops that was on standby. I'm not the officer who directly participated in the beatings. I don't think the beatings should have taken place, but I do think that things should be taken into accountability when crimes are taking place.
But is that a crime necessarily? I mean,
But then
everybody
again,
speeds.
he ran the red light. But do you pull everybody over and beat them when they run a red light?
But he was speeding. You're not supposed to speed. He got pulled over.
Okay, but what if it was a white man speeding and running a red light? Would you have done the same thing?
I cannot speak for other officers. I can speak for myself, but I would have pulled the white young man over as well.
And beat him?
You don't have a problem with you pulling him over. You just beat his ass.
Like I said before, I do not think the beating should have taken place. I was not the one who participated in the beatings, but he needed something for his actions.
But why didn't you stop the beating? You were there.
I think because I was a rookie police officer. It was just me. This was the first time I was in this situation, so I was kind of shocked that this even took place. The reason for the stop, aside from the speeding and him running a red light, when we ran his record and his license plate, we noticed there was a history of violence. So we felt as if it was time to take him down, as in take him in. But things transpired. I cannot speak for other officers, but
So do you think Mr. Holiday was involved in you getting fired? Is that what you're trying to say?
no, because anyone can record. And
So why did you bring him up?
I brought Mr. Holiday up because this video is the reason why the LA riots have taken place. Things have gotten way out of hand, more than what the LAPD can handle. We had to bring out people from the Army, many police officers, because things have really gotten out of hand.
I mean, there was other videos, so why would you just blame him for?
I'm not necessarily blaming him, but that was the main video that surfaced around everyone seeing. I think it could have just been brought to the police station and things could have been handled from there.
Y'all wouldn't have handled it right. Y'all would have just said, I mean, because he's black. I mean, what y'all would have done with the video? Nothing. Looked at it. Did.
I think things would have taken place for the other officers, all of the officers involved. I mean, in fact, we did get fired.
Because the video surfaced. But the video did surface. You guys would still have a job.
You being a rookie, did you think that the beating was more important than you risking your job?
I definitely did not think about that. Never thought about that question until now. I think I was more so scared of the consequences I would have had to suffer because, this is like one of my first jobs. This is LAPD. I'm a rookie. This is a good job. I don't want to lose my job. I didn't want to lose my job. I wanted to do what I thought was best for my city as an officer. But things happened. And he got beaten. I watched. They were bigger and ranked than me. What can I say to them? I would have to suffer the consequences. It's possibly a chance I would have gotten beaten too.
Hello, we're back with Officer Wynn and the two protesters, Miss Joyce and Miss Jackson, talking about the LA riots. Now, I want to ask you guys, do you think the protests were unnecessary? I mean, it was like 1 million, more than 1 million in damages. There's so many buildings that's destroyed. You know, we had to call so many people from LAPD, you know, even the army. So do you think that was just too much? I mean, we could have did it without all the burning buildings.
No, I don't think it was too much. I mean, we deserve justice, and they're not hearing us. Yeah, we surface with Black Lives Matter, but clearly they still don't matter. So.
I completely agree. Like, I don't think it was a waste of time or anything, because still to this day, us as a community, as Black people, we're still not getting any justice, and we're just being thrown to the side.
I understand, but we're talking about millions of dollars in buildings. Now, who's going to pay for that? Are y'all going to pay for that? No. Do you know how many Black people, their businesses were burned down because of these protests? What are they going to do? That's your community, right?
As an officer, also, what about the other people that got hurt?
Innocent people.
Innocent people of a different color.
Rodney King was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong for him to have a beating, but you guys still beat him. I feel like we did what we had to do to make sure our voices are heard, and you guys heard us. You guys, even though it was damaged, but you guys still heard us.
The LAPD definitely heard you guys' voices, but also many innocent people were hurt, they were injured, and they were killed in the process. So you guys did a message that also was equivalent to what happened to Rodney King. What would be the difference?
It's not equivalent. It's not equivalent. He did not have justice. What we did, some people got hurt in the process, but we did what we had to do.
A lot of people got hurt.
Going back to your question about the millions of dollars of damage, I believe those owners, most likely they're white owners, business owners, they have enough money to pay for all those damages.
There were some Black owners as well.
But that shouldn't be the case. As an officer, I have to protect the community.
But you didn't protect Rodney King.
I mean, he was intoxicated, so what can you do?
I mean,
If you guys did not know, he did have a history of violence, and he was speeding. He could have easily killed one or many other people, which is the reason for his stop.
his stop, but what's the reasons for his beating? Okay, he was stopped, but why was he beat to death?
Going back to what I said before, if it was a white man, you guys wouldn't have done the same thing that you guys did to
would have
Rodney
given him a
King.
tap on his hand, and that's it.
But it wasn't a white man, so why are you bringing it up?
But because we're trying to let you see that what we did, we have a purpose for it, because we need justice.
We're trying to show you guys that, like the Constitution says, all men are created equal, but apparently we're not, if we're not getting justice because of the color of our skin.
I do think you guys should have protested. That is your free will, okay? But as far as hurting other individuals, what is that going to solve? Hurting other individuals' property, that's a crime.
That should be dealt with accordingly.
And that's why many people got locked up and dealt with accordingly, like she said.
But you guys didn't get locked up. You guys should be locked up right with
But
them.
we got fired.
Okay. Just because you guys got fired, that does not justify. You guys should be in jail. If us black, if we beat up somebody, even if we're not an LAPD, if we beat up somebody, us black people, if we beat up somebody, we would get jail time. How come you guys don't get jail time? Because you guys are in blue?
I am not in charge of what the jury or the judge thinks or what comes up in the courtroom.
Justice is served. That's what I think.
Justice
No,
is not served.
at all.
Why do you think that?
They should be in jail.
But they lost their job, so that's equivalent.
No,
it's
it is
not.
not. It's not the same thing.
They
So
can get a job once all this blows over. So I don't think justice is served. They should be in jail.
This does not change. Officers have been threatened, beaten, even officers that were not involved. Yes, I was on standby, I've got numerous amount of threats, and I got fired, and it's no guarantee that I will have a decent job elsewhere
But
without these matters taking place again.
But you'll still be able to get something. You'll still be able to live freely in this world, even though you beat eventually to death a black man. You're still walking the streets freely, and I don't think that's right.
You say freely, but that does not change what I also had to endure, knowing that I'm a police officer who just wanted to help my community. This protest, this it started as a protest and ended up as riots.
So you guys here on
Who am I to serve now? When I'm trying to help everyone in the community, I can't just help one person. He got beaten, but now the whole community is in danger.
And that happens all the time, you know? Black people get beaten up every day by other black people, so why is this different? Why is this broadcasted? I don't understand.
Okay, what you just said, you said by other black people, but not whites, like white on black crime or black on white crime. In this case, it was a white on black crime because they beat Rodney King.
For no real reason. You said he had a history of violence, but did he show that history of violence?
He was intoxicated.
And just because he was intoxicated, there's a lot of people who
hurt his wife.
He hurt his wife, but in that incident, I mean, why did you guys beat him up? He did not hurt his wife in front of you guys' face. He did not hurt you.
It's a crime.
He did not
He
did not hurt any officers that pulled him over. You guys could have simply arrested him.
We do not know what could have transpired that night. A lot happened. It happened very fast, and he was intoxicated, and he also had a history of violence.
Okay, you're saying
No
history
one
of
knows.
violence like you guys did background checks on him, but who did background checks on you guys?
The LAPD.
We needed a background check in order to get our job
as a police officer.
Yes. So
I still don't understand though, but y'all say he has a history of violence. How y'all know he has changed? Y'all don't know.
Do they really change?
I mean,
we're not-
most people do change.
So
Cause are you guys gonna change now?
yes, we're gonna take. I believe. Well, I'm not there anymore, but I believe that LAPD is going to look very closely at who they hire.
Yeah.
They're doing their best.
That's all I can say.
Is that
It-
really
it
their
was-
best? Because if that's their best, then I'm scared for
It was just some crooked police officers. I do not think you guys should take it out on everyone. You guys should still trust in the police. Still understand that they want to have your best interest and they want to help you guys and keep you guys safe.
No, they might have white people's best interests, but do they have our best interests?
They help black people every day. What are you
I don't think
talking
you
about?
should.
Like what?
I do not.
They're all crooked and all they do is lie.
Whoa. They're not all crooked here. You know, these police officers, they help you guys every day. So what are you guys talking about?
Are you sure about that? Because
We
on
have
the
one
footage,
crooked right here.
this police officer was seen beating Rodney King. This police officer just lied to us.
I
this whole
was
interview.
just helping out the
Yeah,
other
I mean,
officers.
what would you do if you see a group of people beating someone? You wouldn't jump in? You wouldn't?
No, really? You would jump? Was that even a
What
question?
made- But what made the difference when you guys protested and damaged people's properties? You all did it together.
Yeah, to help our voice be heard.
How is your voice heard now? Because there's millions of dollars wasted because of a riot.
Yeah, because you guys keep killing our home. And you guys are not hearing us, clearly.
Blacks kill blacks.
So now, as you can see, now that we're here, you guys are hearing us. Clearly, you guys are hearing us because we had to do.
Well, we definitely heard you guys because I'm fired.
We know fired. How many times are you gonna say it? You hit Rodney King. And you
I participated in acts because I felt like my other officers, other co-workers needed my help.
To beat another man? Would you do it
He
if
was
that
resisting.
man was the same color as you?
He was resisting.
Resisting what? They weren't
He
arresting
didn't-
him, they were beating him.
Listen,
I would have resisted that too.
there are different strategies and things and skills that we are learned when certain things take place. That's all I can say.
So a strategy is to beat up a black man.
Who was intoxicated and had
But that's a
history
strategy.
of
So every single intoxicated and has a history of violence, even though he never portrayed his violence, that you come across, you guys are gonna beat him up. So that's what we look forward to in our LAPD. That's why we do all these riots.
You know what you should
Because that's who we're supposed to trust in, you guys, who has the strategies to beat us up.
When it comes to LAPD, what you should do when it comes to them, you should trust in them to help and protect you.
No, thank you.
they were getting
Okay.
intoxicated man off of the streets.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
Nothing
That's
more
all I
than
can
that.
say.
You
That's all
guys
I'm
should
gonna-
have just arrested him though, and that's the
that's
point
what they
that we're
did.
trying to make. No, they beat him up badly. That's the point I'm trying to make, and that's the point of these riots. Because why couldn't you guys just arrest him? Why couldn't you guys just take him off the streets and not beat him up? Yeah, you guys could have pulled him over. Yeah, that's all right, but you guys didn't have to beat him up. And that's the point of these riots, and that's the point I'm trying to make here.
This one situation has sat on my heart. It has sat on my mind. It has messed with my children. People are getting threatened. My family, myself, every single day, every moment. And all we were doing was just our job.
And a job is a job. Now, she's fired.
Can't believe this is our LAPD.
Ridiculous.
I just want to thank you guys, the two protesters, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Joyce, on discussing the LA riots and why it's justifiable. For Wayne, I just want to thank her as well for being here, since we got like a little insight of the officer's point of view and how the LA riot shouldn't have escalated as much as it did. If you have any questions, if you have any opinions, you can always like us or follow us on Instagram, Tumblr, and Instagram at Channel 66 News. Instagram at Channel 66 News. This is Millie Gabriel signing out, and have a good night.